Planar War. No, wait, that's been played the out so hard already. Waifu War. It's probably been done as well. Alright, screw it. In this video, I'm looking at the TANGZU Zetian Wu Heyday Edition Planar Magnetic IEMs. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews, and I know the waifu thing has been played out pretty hard in Chi-Fi recently, but you know what? I love the aesthetic that they've gone for with this one. The original Zetian Wu as well had nice box art. This one, I really love it. It's classy. It's very, very nice. And just like the original model, it comes with, well, first of all, with an oversized box, kind of unnecessary. It also comes with a oversized carrying case. Now, I appreciate that. It's better than no case at all, but obviously it is not pocketable. But it's nice to have regardless. And yeah, I love the black on gold. I've said that before. Inside, you do get this big chunky chunkarama thing going on, but you know, it is what it is. IEMs, they look like that. Now, they do have the same shape, the same shell shape as the original model. You probably know all this already. You know, this was released months ago, but now instead of the resin or the plastic housings, these are now all metal. And yeah, that does make some changes, although the comfort level stays the same. I actually think, although these are metal and they feel more premium in the hand than the original, they don't look as classy. Well, you know, that's subjective. They do look nice. I don't get me wrong. I love the low-key design. I think they're spectacular. But you know, the purple original model was a really like visual stunner. But anyway, yeah, so now all metal shells, nice lip on the nozzle, really comfortable, nothing to complain about really. They do, well, they kind of pick up fingerprints, but not really. I mean, you're not going to notice unless you're looking up real close. And then there is the cable, and the cable is changed from the original Zetian Wu. It's now obviously sky blue, pretty hard, but it also comes with a modular termination. Now, I like the way that they've done it. It's similar to the, what is it, the Raptgo Hook-X one. Just slips on and off, just like that. So in the box, they give you the 2.5 balance, the 3.5 single-ended, and the 4.4 balance. So you're all good to go. The only thing is, it's kind of long, as you can see there. Compared to the original, I might as well bring it out now because I'm going to be talking about this quite a lot during this review. Compared to the original cable, the Heyday Edition one is thicker and stiffer. This old brown one is a little bit more supple, handles a little bit better, but you know, it doesn't look as striking as this one. Let's have a look at those old purple shells just for reference. There they are. I think they look fantastic, but in the hand they don't feel as premium as the all metal Heyday Edition. And furthermore, the original cable is not modular. You're stuck with a 3.5mm single-ended termination. Alright, so apart from the cable and the shell material change, what else has changed? Well, the price. The price has gone up and it's now at $199. So basically $200. The original was what, $149 if I remember correctly. So you're looking at 50, well, technically 51, wait, $199. No, you're looking at $50 increase on the Heyday Edition. And for that, you get metal shells, a modular cable, and a new driver. Well, you get a revised or updated version of the planar driver. So it's not technically the same driver as the original one, Whether that makes a difference, I do not know, but definitely the shell material alone, that is enough by itself to make the differences in the sound signature that we're hearing. So it's difficult to say now that they've changed that. It's hard to say whether the sonic changes are due to the driver and the shell or just the shell. It could be just that. But anyway, let me talk about that. So you can see the graph there, and yeah, it's got a little less bass than the original model there. It's still above neutral. It's still boosted bass somewhat, especially in the sub bass area. It's still not a bass head IEM. It's definitely not a bass head IEM. It's in that tame region. You know, nowadays nobody wants to stray more than 3 dBs above or below that neutral curve. They're all afraid of you know how it's going with the graph bullshit. So a little bit less bass than the original. It's a pretty good bass, a fairly good quality, although I would say the definition on the leading edges is a little bit soft, like the attacks on kick drums, etc. is a little soft. But apart from that, it is a nice bass. It's got pretty good texture. It's got pretty good weight to it. The mid-range is lovely. You've got that slightly attenuated mid bass and upper bass, so the mids come through nice and clear. There's plenty of spaciousness there. There's good spacing between instruments. Also, because it's a planar magnetic driver, you get those excellent fast transients, good resolution, really good resolution actually. Male and female vocals both sound really nice on this. They don't really pop though. The overall tuning of the Heyday here is really safe, like from the bass to the mid-range to the treble. It's all a very safe tuning. You're not pushing any boundaries or reaching any tolerance level limits on either of those three main frequencies. But what it does do very well. In the mid-range, like I said, good spacing, excellent resolution. You got really good instrument separation from top to bottom, but everything is just a little bit too safe, which is my main criticism for the Heyday here. Let's move on to the treble now, and the treble is, well, it's fairly crisp and it's fairly light, and it does give a bit of airiness to the sound. It is not a sparkly treble though. It is not a particularly airy or light or exciting treble. It's very safe tuning, like I just said. So it's great for treble sensitive people, anyone who doesn't want to go anywhere near sibilance or brightness or sharpness. You'll be right at home here. However, that does have an effect on other things. Like I said, the bass, the kick drums, etc., a little bit soft on the front, on the leading edge, and that's due to having a subdued treble. In addition, percussion attacks throughout the spectrum are a little bit soft, and just transients in general are a little rounded. You don't get that sort of directness that are more aggressive or a little bit more. Now, in terms of soundstage, it's still a closed system, or still a closed shell that you're seeing here, so it's not that much bigger really than the original model. It is, I would say it's a little bit more spacious, and that's due to the bass level being reduced somewhat. And the staging is pretty good. It is fairly wide. It's got nice imaging. It's got a nice stable center image, but it's kind of average in terms of size as far as soundstage goes for an IEM in this price range. It's nothing special, although I will say the imaging and the instrument placement is quite good. So let's break down a little bit more the comparison between the original Zetian Wu and the Heyday edition. The original has more bass, but you know what? The thing that sort of I heard with the original model is it sounds kind of distant. It lacked a bit of immediacy, and the new version, or the Heyday version, kind of it rectifies that problem. The Heyday edition is more upfront. It's more immediate. It kind of brings everything up a level and a little bit closer to you, whereas the original one, even when you turned them up loud, there was a little bit of distance there. You didn't feel like you were really close to the musicians. You were sort of a few rows back, and that has been rectified with the Heyday edition here. Apart from that, the differences are really very slight. I think because of the reduced bass on the Heyday edition, the treble gets a little bit more room to move. It's a little bit more upfront and noticeable compared to the original Zetian Wu. And although the sound character is observably different from the original model, it still has similar traits in a lot of areas, so it still kind of has that Zetian Wu original sound. But let's switch things up a little bit now, and we're going to bring in the Raptgo Hook-X, and the price of this one is a little bit more. It's like $219 or $229, so it's a little bit more expensive. I prefer the cable on the Heyday edition. It's a little bit thicker. It doesn't tangle quite as easily. And I've never been a fan really of fabric braided cables, although I do like the green color and the way it matches the housings here. I think that's pretty sweet. So first things first, you'll notice the Raptgo Hook-X is an open or semi-open IEM. Yes, that does improve its soundstage, but you know what? The difference between open back and closed back earphones is not as noticeable or as perceptible as open back headphones compared to closed headphones. It does give these a slightly larger soundstage, but it's not maybe not as dramatic as you might expect. But what it does do is it sort of blends more naturally with your surroundings, and that by itself can sort of give you an impression of a better soundstage. But so comparing the Heyday edition with the Hook-X here, the Hook-X it's a little bit more dynamic, and I think that's mainly due to its treble tuning. It's got a little bit more lively treble, and that does a few things. It does improve percussion attacks and transient attacks in general, like the leading edges of notes are a little bit sharper. It adds more definition to kick drums. Things like electric guitars have more bite to them. Vocals are a little bit more, I want to say spicy, but they're not really spicy, but they're just a little bit more articulate and a little bit more direct. Everything is a little bit more exciting on the Hook-X, whereas I find the Heyday edition, while it is very good overall, it's just a little bit too safe overall. The Hook-X is kind of more exciting to listen to. If you are treble sensitive, however, you probably want to stray away from the Hook-X. I would say it's got a good treble, and on its own, it's not especially bright, but it's definitely less forgiving on poor recordings. And for those people who are sensitive to a bit of treble, yeah, the Hook-X can get a little bit fatiguing over time, whereas the Heyday edition is just safe all day listening kind of thing. It's very smooth. It's buttery smooth. Now, in terms of resolution, I would say they're pretty much equal. The Zetian Wu Heyday does have very good resolution. I wouldn't say it's better than the Hook-X, but the Hook-X's background is a little bit blacker. I think the soundstage organization or the spacing between instruments is a little more precise on the Hook-X, and that's because of those faster transients, those sort of leaner notes, whereas the Zetian Wu Heyday has kind of rounder notes. It's just been softened overall in general. So where does that leave us with the TANGZU X HBB Zetian Wu Heyday edition? Come on, guys, with the names. So where does that leave us with these? Well, you know what? This is a really good IEM. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. However, I think in the overall grand scheme of things, I wouldn't call it the best planar out there in the price range. I would say it's one of the best. Like there still aren't too many of them. I would say it's like in the top 3 or the top 5. It wouldn't be my first choice. I would go for the Hook-X, or I would probably go for the Let's Shure S12 Pro. I think they're both a little bit more exciting for me. I do appreciate what this does, but it's just a little bit too safe in my opinion. But let me know what you think. Which planar earphones have you tried, and do you have the Heyday edition and the original Zetian Wu, and which one do you like better? Let me know in the comments below. But I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, of course. Check the description down below. I've got links, affiliate links, and links to the written review and all my social media channels, etc. If you are new here, or even if you're not new, if you are not subscribed yet, I highly advise you to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. And until next time, I'll see you later.